I'd like to welcome you guys to another weekly installment of Pokemon What If Wednesday, where every Wednesday morning I go through last week's investing and collecting questions, where your guys' question will actually be featured in the video itself, and one person's question will be on the thumbnail every single week. So please drop your question down below for a chance to be featured in next week's video. And if I did comment to you saying, great question, I might use this one and I didn't, please drop that same question again, and make sure you put repeat questions so then I'll know, it's a little more urgent. I'll put it to the top of the list, because we're getting a ton of questions. I really appreciate it. And I'm not saying I know everything, but when I'm unsure, I always like to talk it out with some people. Kind of helps me make my final decision. Plus, too, Pokemon is extremely overwhelming. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of cards, and they cost a ton of money. I mean, that's the entire goal of my channel, is to help you guys save as much money as possible, and hopefully down the road, help you guys make some money. But before we get started, we got to thank today's video sponsor, and that is Punch-Out Gaming. Punch-Out Gaming is my local game store and the #1 game store in all of Minnesota. I've actually been to them all. Nobody can beat the variety. You can order right from their site too. They got stuff for everybody: Pokemon, sports cards, Yu-Gi-Oh, One Piece. And they have one of the largest raw selections of Pokemon cards that I have ever seen. Every time I step in that store, I'm always leaving with some raw cards and some sealed products. So definitely check them out. They're located in Forest Lake, 30 minutes north of the Twin Cities, and the link will be in the description. But all right, let's get started. So the first question is from Agent Crypto 7741. Is Hidden Fates the most undervalued ETB in Sun and Moon? Super good question. Now, I think there's a good amount of undervalued ETBs in Sun and Moon. I think there's a few undervalued sets even. Like Cosmic Eclipse should honestly be like a $2,000 booster box. It's so good. It's almost better than Team Up. Like, it's super close. If Team Up, obviously has the Latios and Latios, but still, Cosmic is a banger of a set. The ETB here is $440, which is pretty expensive. The Sun and Moon base is $67 market price. They reprinted that a ton in Sword and Shield. I think these Ultra Prism ETBs are a little undervalued. This is the waifu set of like everybody's dream. The amount of high value trainers in this set is absolutely crazy. And I feel like, for $250, that's not terrible. You got to think Hidden Fates has been reprinted probably the most out of all of these ETBs. But yeah, the ones that I really think are undervalued, I feel like Unified Minds is a little cheap, comparing it to Unbroken Bonds, which is, I don't think is really a much better set at all. And then the Ultra Prism ones I feel like are definitely a little undervalued. And Hidden Fates, isn't bad for like what it is. It is one of the best looking ETBs. You can't really beat the promo. And Hidden Fates is the best shiny set. It's way better than Paldean Fates. Even though Paldean Fates does have illustration rares, I still think Hidden Fates is much better. But all right, next question is from Jesse Helmuth 8484. If you had to choose between collecting gold stars or crystals, which one would you rather collect? I already have a couple both. Well, I'm already right there with you because I do collect both of these. Now, I technically have these sets completed, but a lot of them are rough. I'm working on, replacing them. I actually just sold a couple to buy some more because I got to get these sets complete in near mint. The condition is driving me nuts. And in my opinion, between the two, there's a lot more gold stars. So if I were you, I would definitely do the crystal cards. These are just the ones from Skyridge, but there's way less crystal cards than there is gold stars. There's a ton of gold stars. So yeah, my vote is crystal, and I honestly think the art is a little bit better. It's top tier. The cards are really beautiful in person too, like no joke. Same with gold stars too, but yeah, I'm going to go crystal over gold star. All right, next question. At MLD21, always love the videos. Thanks for what you do for the community. I really appreciate that. Do you think an English 151 ETB at retail price is a good pickup? And do you think it will get a reprint in the near future? Yeah, I think it's a solid pickup. It's $70 on TCG Player right now. So it should be, I think, $55 at the stores. So yeah, if you can find anything 151 at the store, I'm grabbing it. And we probably will get a reprint. I'm thinking they're going to wait till the holiday season, but I could be wrong. And I would assume it's going to be ETBs, booster bundles, and possibly the UPCs and stuff like that. But I don't think they'll reprint everything. But yeah, this thing being $70 right now, I'd definitely be picking up anything 151. Next question is from Sushi Games 9. Do you think the Evolution Premium Collection V and V Maxes will go up a lot? Those arts are amazing. Now, they are super amazing, but you always got to remember, they are promos. There's a ton of people sitting on these boxes. So they can really only get so expensive before people are just going to open their box. And the price of the boxes are also going up. They're like $120, $130 a box now. But these are actually coming down a little bit. The PSA versions, though, if you get a PSA 10, especially the V, it's worth a ton. So that's where I feel like these are going to be gold mines in the future, is if you can get that Gem Mint 10. I want to say Vaporeon's already $400 or something like that. I could be a little off on that one, but yeah, the Gem Mint 10 versions are going to be, I could see them being $1,000 in a PSA 10 down the road because they are top tier. But all right, let's get to the next question. It's from Philly B100. New to slabs. I know in this video you spoke on some of the things you use to protect cards, but do you use slab protectors too? Do you use screen slabs for scratches? How does this affect price? Now, no joke, if your slab is scratched up, people don't want it. Unless they're cracking it. So I recommend if you guys have slabs right now and you guys don't have at least like, you know, the big team bags over them or whatever it is, I would definitely put them in something because, yeah, people do not want those scratches. I'm actually starting a new graded card collection, and I'm going to be using graded guards. That's what I'm going to be using. Right now, I don't have anything. I just make sure they're all, you know, team bagged up or whatever and packaged nicely. But yeah, I'm pretty careful with them because I have had a few where I didn't, and they do get scratches pretty easily. So, good question. Next one is from Squeamish Gold 25. Do you think investing in Mega Evolution cards from X and Y era would be smart, considering the return of Mega Evolution in the new game? Amazing work on the videos, and I'm always excited for the new ones. Really appreciate that. That actually means a ton. So we'll just take a little peek here. These are nothing crazy. Just some cards from Flashfire. I just want to see if this Charizard is going up. So it was 360. That's still 378. But model played 91. Near mint 375. So that's gone up a tiny bit. Not a ton of sales in near mint. That's the one thing that sucks about looking at vintage cards. There's a ton of, you know, cards in lightly played, moderately played damage. With modern, everything's kind of basically at least lightly played or near mint or mint, you know? So, and these are not even some of the best mega cards. I just wanted to see if these ones are going up. So, not really going up a ton yet. Let's see here. The Mega Gengar, this one's pretty popular. So he's going up a good amount, but still only like $10. Let's check that 6 month. So they're starting to go up a tiny bit, not really a ton. We'll check another mega card. This is actually my favorite mega card probably, especially for Charizard. I love this card. I think it's beautiful. So this thing was 41, going up a little bit. So it really has not moved much. I'm not sure if these are going to go up crazy amount. Because to be honest, if we do get new mega cards, they're probably going to be special illustration rares, and they're going to blow these out of the water. I hope. But you never know. I definitely do think they will go up a little bit. So, you know, if you can find a good deal on these, maybe try to collect all the mega cards or whatever it is you're trying to do. I am actually shopping for some of these too. I'm looking for the Ancient Origins Trio, the Primal Groudon, Kyogre, and the Mega Rayquaza. Love those cards. But all right, next question is at Piggy Spy 13. Repeat question from a couple weeks ago. Are vintage Pokemon Tops cards and or vintage Pokemon stickers good investments or worth grading at the very least? So if they're in super good condition, I definitely recommend grading. But some of these Tops cards, I mean, some of them are expensive, but some of them are just not. We'll take a little peek here. These are the sold listings on eBay. 150 complete set of the movie 2000 cards. You know, and then condition does matter for these. Let's see here. A Series 1 complete. 139er best offer. Pokemon Top Series 2. Complete silver hollow set. Blue Tops logo. There's different print runs, you know. Some are older and newer. But I do have all these sets complete already. I just don't think they're going to be crazy, crazy valuable in the future. I could see them having a little boom, but I don't think it's going to be anything near like what the real Pokemon cards get, because I just don't think as many people collected these, but I do love them. So, I mean, if you can get it for a super, super good deal, you know, maybe pick it up, especially if they're mints and hollow and all that. Right here, we got 480, 2000 Tops Pokemon Series 3 complete. So the Series 3 is like the toughest one to get. Blue logo, first print, Mewtwo. All right, next, Trevor Donnelly. Question: thoughts on the Sword and Shield 103 Blastoise promo? I think it's one of the most slept on promos out of all Sword and Shield. I'm actually a big fan of this promo myself. I don't even really like the VMAX cards, but this VMAX card is sick. There's another one too. I like the Machamp VMAX. There's a few that I enjoy, but this Blastoise is amazing. Let's see the price here. Went up a little bit. Was $14. So let's check 6 months ago. So yeah, $14.98 was the low. Was $18.79 before. Now it's up to $17.30 and coming down a little bit. Near mint $16.25. Near mint $14.25. $15.14. I just don't think it's going to be super valuable. I think it'll be a decent card in the future for sure. But if you compare it with the Charizard VMAX from Darkness Ablaze that nobody really loves, because there's 3 better versions of it, because I feel like that's kind of what goes with this. But I do love the box. So I have a few of these sealed. Big fan of that. Next question is from Chris Ford 9213. For sets that do not contain booster boxes, do you think buying cases of booster bundle or mini tin displays would be a good pickup? 60 packs in the booster display, mini tin cases have 80, or just 20 per tin display. We'll take a little peek here with Crown Zenith. My favorite set right now that I've just been stocking up on. Such a good set, and everything's still relatively cheap. But like for a set like this, I do get it. The ETBs, they're huge. They take up a lot of space, and they're pretty expensive. That's why I really like these tins here for Crown Zenith, these Galarian Bird tins. They come with an exclusive promo, beautiful art, and then all Crown Zenith packs. But yeah, I think it's fine to get, mini tin displays and stuff like that. It might not do as good as ETBs, like they might not be as easy to sell in the future, but I do feel like there will be a market in the future for them. Especially, I love these mini tin displays. I'd like how they're, individual art on each tin. The display looks really nice. But yeah, just keep that in mind. Might be a little harder to sell in the future. There's just probably not as many people collecting them as there are ETBs, which, most people do collect. Next question is from Colin Wells, TD5TP. Hey, great content. What are your thoughts on the shiny vault from Hidden Fates? Is it worth holding on to long term? Thank you. So I'm guessing you have some. They're going up right now. I just had the Charizard and the Umbreon on my last market Monday. I mean, the Charizard's last sold $4.99, so I'm about 2 of them. So it's a $500 card. That's more than the Giratina V. The Umbreon GX is also going up. Last sold $170 near mint. I think these cards will do solid in the future. They're the best shinies we've gotten. I do agree the special illustration rares are beautiful. I love them, but we only got 3 of them in the last set. So Hidden Fates still top set for sure. I love it. There's so many banger cards. This is like the Evolving Skies of shiny sets without alternate arts. So yeah, I think they'll do okay in the future. And a lot of them are really cheap. Like this Articuno GX being this cheap is just crazy. The Reshiram GX. I'm very tempted to collect this entire set, but I got a lot of other ones that I've started that I gotta finish before I start anything new. But just seeing that Articuno that cheap just makes me want to buy it instantly. So yeah, I think they'll do okay in the future. Next, Pokemon Nostalgia 1991. Hey, what's up, bro? Question, are you a fan of the Pokemon poker cards? I know they are not as well known, but some of them, especially the most liked Pokemon, sell in the hundreds in a PSA 10. Are they worth investing? Now, not as many people obviously collect those as regular cards. I actually have some of these. I have them graded by BGS. They got 10s, like the Ho-Oh back and the Lugia back. Big fan of these cards. I just don't think as many people collect them, like I said. So these are the sold listings. So many good deals. I even clicked on this guy because, at $29.99 with $5 in shipping, $35 for this PSA 10. Very old vintage card. I checked. I was going to buy them all out if he had any more, but he sold them all. And they all sold for really cheap. So as you can see, not that many people are really searching these and collecting these right now. So, if you can get them for $29.99 for all Gen Min 10s, then yes, I would be grabbing those. At Easton Combs, I'm so excited for the Shrouded Fable set. Do you think the Greninja EX special illustration box is worth it to pre-order? I'm loving the artwork on the Greninja. Let's take a little peek here. So on TCG Player, they want 35 and 35. I think you can pre-order them from like Best Buy right now for like $29.99. Might even be able to find them cheaper, but I think that's MSRP. So I would, you know, if you're going to pre-order it, definitely do it from somewhere where you're paying MSRP. Do not overpay for any pre-orders for anything modern, unless it's something crazy like 151 or like the Team Rocket stuff. Then, you know, you can overpay a little bit, but still just a little bit. But I'm going to stock up on a bunch of these. My goal is to get 3 cases of the Greninja EX box and 3 cases of the Kingdra box. I might get a case of the King Gambit, but I might skip that one just so I can for sure get the 3 cases of each. That is my goal. Worst case scenario, I get a case of each. All right, next question is from Eduardo Hernandez, PUTQO. Hey, Pokebeard, I have a SGC 9.5 Rayquaza VMAX Alt Art, and I'm wondering if I should crack it and get it reslabbed at PSA for the 10. So if the card looks super, super nice, like you don't see anything wrong with it and you don't know why it got a 9.5, definitely. I've cracked a ton of slabs. It's pretty easy, but we'll take a little peek here because the Rayquaza VMAX 9.5 sold for $418, $415, $399. But let's say worst case scenario, well, you could get an 8, but let's say you get a PSA 9. I mean, you're still technically making a little bit more money. It paid for the grading, but $425, $442, $404, $395. So pretty close. $395, $409. So if you think about it, you know, if you get it graded and you don't get the 10 and it's a 9, you now have a PSA 9 worth a tiny bit more and it's a better grading company. And you have a great chance of getting that 10, which is worth, you know, a few $100s more. So definitely worth it. Just be very careful cracking the slab. Next, this is from the Dino Buddies 2362. Hey, Pokebeard, Mario from Card Party here. So awesome I got to meet you. Enjoy the card I got you. He got me this super awesome Rainbow Suicune GX card. I just absolutely love it. So question, I have 4 sealed booster boxes from Evolving Skies coming currently. Should I keep 2, sell 2, and use the money to wrap up and complete the remaining alt arts in the set? By the way, the Moonbreon graded a 9.5. You were right. Well, it's worth it to always try it with the Moonbreon anyways. You never know. But if you got 4 Evolving Skies booster boxes coming, which I'm guessing you paid around $650 a box or something like that, I have a feeling Evolving Skies is going to start moving up. It is already moving a little bit, but I have a feeling it's going to start climbing again and alt arts are going to start dropping. Everybody's starting to panic a little bit, but you guys got to remember, in the summer, all these prices always drop a little bit. Everybody's super busy. You know, they're spending money, going on vacations, doing all these things. So this happens a ton. I've seen it every single summer. But yeah, if you got 2, I'd honestly hold on to all 4 for a little bit. Just wait. I think these alt arts are going to come down in price a little bit more, and I have a feeling the Evolving Skies booster boxes are going to keep going up. You see them being like $800 here in a couple months. That's what I would do. And then too, when you sell them, make sure you keep your 2 nicest ones and sell the 2 crappier ones. Just make sure you take good pictures. Don't, you know, screw anyone over and not take the pictures of the damage or anything like that. But make sure you keep your 2 nicest ones. Super good question, and it was great meeting you. Card Party was a blast. All right, next question is from @BlackWhiteGray001. Do you think it's worth buying 1 vintage booster box or a case of modern booster boxes? Super tough question. The collector in me says vintage because that's what I love. I also do love modern, but not as much as vintage. But realistically, I'm a big fan of buying at the bottom. It's much safer. The vintage could be a little overpriced right now. You could lose money on that technically. Everybody thinks just because it's old, it automatically goes up forever. That is not true at all. So a lot of these vintage boxes can come down in price. They can go back up. So safe route, probably modern, especially if you're getting it for like $90 a box, stuff like that. So yeah, my vote would probably be modern just because it's safer. @FBomb94, I currently put top set cards in a top loader binder, but it does leave holes in the master set binder. Would you trust putting the top set cards that are graded worthy into a zipper binder like a Vault X binder? Oh yeah, I do that all the time. I have a Shadowless Charizard in a binder right now. Just make sure you do not just use regular penny sleeves. I'm also not a fan of like the perfect fit sleeves either. Very sketchy trying to get your cards out of those. So I like to use a little thicker sleeve like the Dragon Shield or something like that. You gotta think, you work so hard to finish those sets. You gotta enjoy them as a completed set. It's just so much better. I actually just did that. I cracked a bunch of my vintage slabs because I was so sick of seeing these holes in my completed sets. It was driving me nuts. So yeah, totally fine with that. Just maybe find some good sleeves for it. Next question is from WusAnthony7874. Hey, nice video. I was wondering if I should grade my cards with PSA or BGS. I know some cards don't have a significant price difference for 10s, but I've seen some that do. Just wondering where would be the best to grade my cards. Thank you. So it all depends on the condition of the cards. If your cards are absolutely perfect, like you cannot find anything wrong with them, definitely try BGS. But if you are seeing tiny little things, PSA is your best bet to get the 10 still. They're just the most lenient because they have the most submissions too. I really feel like that's why it's so hard for them to keep the quality consistent. They just get so many cards. It's just crazy. Great question though. Next one is from Gwen Steele 6538. Thanks for all the awesome content lately. I know you don't usually recommend collecting full master sets. Do you think English 151 is any different or will appreciate more in value long term? That is the only set that I, for Scarlet and Violet, would definitely approve of doing the master set. A lot of those, regular cards, the commons and uncommons, a lot of original art. So yeah, definitely 151 is solid, and I think a lot of people will be wanting that set in the future. But just know, master sets are definitely a little tougher to sell. Not as many people like to buy master sets. They like to collect the cards. A lot of them already have some of the cards, and it doesn't make sense for them to just go buy a master set. So it will take a while, and you might have to break it up down the road. But it is a good idea for 151, I think. But 151 definitely has the best chance out of all the sets to sell as a completed set for sure. All right, next one is from @BC Dakota. When a new set is released, what characteristics do you look for to judge if it's going to be a great set to invest in? Love the channel. So my main thing is variety. I love a good variety of everything, all different generation Pokemon, good illustration rares, good special illustration rares, good trainer special illustration rares, some solid gold cards. So I love the variety, and I definitely think we need a little tougher pull rates for Scarlet and Violet. At least for some of these banger cards, it makes them actually rare. When you pull your favorite card and it's not that rare and everybody's got it, compared to a card that is truly rare and you pull it, there's no better feeling. So I just wish we had a little bit tougher pull rates, because we got the illustration rares now. They're pretty easy to pull. They're beautiful. They can kind of keep people happy, and then keep those special illustration rares a little tougher to pull. And we also got to have a couple cards that are good for the TCG every set. Otherwise, that's a big downfall on sets sometimes. I do feel like they cater towards the collectors a little more than the TCG players sometimes, but I really feel like that needs to be a basic for every set. Like they need to start there with the gameplay, then work on the collectible cards. But yeah, I just like the variety. So like Paradox Rift, that's why it's one of my favorite sets. We got awesome Pokemon from all different generations. So great question though. Next is from BRadPT. Great to see you back at home, safe from Card Party. Do you sell at any local markets or shows? And if I just started selling, do you think they're a good idea? As always, thanks for content. Cheers. So if you've never been to a show, I would definitely recommend going to a show first, kind of seeing what people have for, stock and how many boxes they got and how many cases of cards. But I definitely recommend selling at shows, especially, like I said, if you got a good amount of stuff. It's a great way to meet new people, get new contacts. The amount of people I meet at card shows is crazy. Card shows are literally my favorite thing to go and do. So yeah, I definitely recommend going to the card shows. But like I said, do a little research first. Make sure you got enough product, because that's the only time where a card show isn't very fun, is when you just do not have very many things and nobody's really coming up to your booth and all that. So stock up first, then go. All right, next one is from @Jertwig. Hi, Pokebeard. Thank you for consistently bringing up good and valuable content. Thank you. Quick question. What do you personally prefer, raw singles or slabs? Also, how do you feel about master sets? So I prefer raw for most of my things. It just costs way less. I've always said this, like, if I could do a collection of all PSA 10s, that's awesome. But if I can, for that same price, finish 5 raw collections of all near mint cards, I'm taking that every time. I like Pokemon cards too much. I want too many cards to be spending a bunch of money on a bunch of graded cards. That's why I do not have a ton of graded cards, and I am starting that one graded collection just because I do want to have one completed, PSA 10 collection, and I already have so many raw completed sets. That's the only reason why I'm doing it. Plus, I feel like they're extremely undervalued. And then for master sets, for modern, I'm not the biggest fan. There's too many different types of cards. Just collect the cards you like. If you like illustration rares, collect them, special illustration rares, whatever it is, gold cards. It's easier and you'll be more likely to complete the set. And then for vintage, that's a different story. I do like master sets for vintage, but those cards, I feel like are a little more important, like those commons and uncommons, because some of those cards, that's the only card of that Pokemon. It was for the longest time. There wasn't as many cards. So yeah, for vintage, yes, master sets. For modern, not really. Except 151, I feel like would definitely be okay. All right, next question is from @ngrimes14. Love these videos. Want to hear more about your card party experience. Sad I didn't see you there. What cards, products did you pick up, and what was your favorite memory from the event? Just know if I'm ever at one of these events, just hit me up on Instagram. It's much easier to get a hold of me there, even though the service there was terrible. But yeah, next time hit me up on Instagram. We'll definitely meet up. I didn't get too many products, to be honest. I got a bunch of Japanese 151 booster boxes. We opened some and passed out some packs and stuff. And then I just got a few random alternate arts and a few random good deals that I found, but nothing super crazy just because the trip was kind of expensive in itself. And my favorite memory was honestly meeting you guys. It was absolutely insane. I mean, I was signing autographs and taking pictures. I never thought in a million years I'd be doing that. So I just want to say thank you guys so much for everybody that came up to me or, at least tried to. It was a wild event. And then too, I got to meet Pokerev. I talked with him for a couple minutes. He subscribed to the channel. Pokevault subscribed to the channel. Talked to Danny Phantom. We talked to Pat. Talked to Pat's producer. I stood in line for an hour at the end of Card Party on Sunday with a bunch of kids just so I could talk to Pat one more time about being a feature creator for the next Card Party. That's how serious I am about all this. I want to be involved with everything that I possibly can be. I think it just makes for better content and a better relationship with the fans. Super good question. All right, next is from @user ZL4DF4HM9J. Would you buy booster boxes right now or wait until the Team Rocket set comes out for Scarlet and Violet? I feel the set will do well, especially if we got some OG Gen 1, 2, 3. From an investing standpoint, it makes sense to me to wait and save my money. Yeah, I think that'd be totally fine. Just keep your eye out. If 151 gets restocked, maybe pick up a little more of that. Same with Paldea Evolved. If that gets restocked and booster boxes go down to 100, maybe grab a few of those. And then Japanese 151, super cheap too. So just keep your eye out and just maybe get a few good deals here and there. But I think it'd be totally fine to save up for the Team Rocket set, especially if you don't have unlimited funds. I think that's very, very smart and responsible to do, honestly. So, all right, last question is from Yanni Stoppable. Late to watching this one, but I'm desperate here. Collecting question here. Where is the best place to post you are looking for rare cards, or is it just checking eBay and other places your best bet? I have a 1 of 4 Quaxley Blackstar promos and a 1 of 6 Quaxwell Blackstar promos in CGC Pristine 10s. I've been looking for the Quaquaval Blackstar promo for weeks, but I suspect there's less than 10. So there's a couple options you can do. You can type the search in on eBay and you can actually save the search so you get an email when one does get listed. You can post it on like a bunch of Pokemon Reddit pages and stuff like that. I've actually found a lot of cards doing that. Same with like Facebook Marketplace, and you can post it a bunch of different places. But yeah, when you're hunting cards that rare, it definitely does take a while. You just got to be patient and just keep looking and keep looking. You'll eventually find it. And then too, once you find it, you got to be careful, because if it's the only one, for sale, they might want so much for it. So just got to be patient. You'll eventually get it. Otherwise, what you could do, you could maybe start hunting for a raw version and try grading it yourself in the meantime. The card isn't that expensive. So, that's another option. But all right, that was today's Pokemon What If Wednesday. I really, really appreciate it. And like I said before, drop your question down below for a chance to be featured in next week's video. And then tomorrow is my brand new series, Throwback Thursday. It's basically going to be Market Monday and Falling Friday combined in one video, but all vintage. So definitely check that out. Even if you're not into vintage, I recommend you checking it out because it's good to know all these Pokemon cards and Pokemon sets if you're going to be collecting Pokemon. You have no idea how many binders I've bought with modern and some vintage with a random Gold Star Pokemon card in the back. Wasn't even pictured. It's happened so many times because people just don't know what a Gold Star is. And then too, when you look at some of these older sets, you'll realize how good these newer sets really, really are. You know, I always recommend learning the history. It always helps for the future. But all right, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys do like this content, make sure to subscribe, hit that notification button, please leave a like. It helps out so much. And just know if you leave a comment, I comment back to every single person. Even if my views quadruple from here, I'm still going to do that. You can check out my membership. It's only 99 cents a month. My eBay store and my Instagram where I show off my collection. We got to blow that Instagram up. I always kind of forget to mention it, and then I mention it at the very end. I'm going to try to mention it a little more. But so many people ask to see my collection, and I post a picture from my collection every day from there. So definitely check that out. And if you want to watch my last Market Monday, where the Greninja is going absolutely crazy and some shinies are going wild, watch this video here. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.